Hello there, and welcome to Star Trek Resurgence. I am hearing stream audio back. Let's just mute system audio for a second so you guys don't hear back. Let me, there we go. YouTube, muted in the background, monitoring your audio. Twitch muted by default, which is probably how it should go. But welcome. It has been a while since we have streamed. We just bring the system sound back in. It has been a while since we have streamed, or actually I've been releasing some recorded content. So I hope you guys have been enjoying that. But welcome. It's been so long since I've streamed, I don't really know what to say. I missed the 24-hour event this year. So yeah, but we are playing Star Trek Resurgence. You have a vendetta against Epic Game Store and you don't wanna give them your money? That's okay. You can come here and you can watch me play it instead. Give me your money. Let me knock things on the floor. Anyway, I didn't know this game. I kind of saw on Reddit that it was launching. Yeah, I think it launched yesterday or earlier today. So I'm excited. I'm very excited. Yeah, it looks like from the photos I'm seeing on screen, and like I did watch the trailer before I started, that it's kind of late 24th century in style, so we shall see. Not to give any spoilers, but it is in the trailer. But Will Riker on the Titan is in it, like the original Titan, not the one from Picard, is in it at some point, voiced by Frakes himself, I think, so yeah. Very exciting. Anyway, without any further ado, I'm wondering if I should grab an Xbox controller for this. I think it is also launching on other stuff. But let's see what the PC controls are like. This is a dramatic lab adventure. The relationships and events you're about to experience will be shaped by the choices you make. That's exciting. This is really cool. I'm just
Captain's log, stardate 57931.4. The crew is restless.
Can give it a bit of a volume there.
Too many months piecing our ship back together. We're finally about to venture out on a new mission. And the crew isn't letting this unprecedented ion storm slow them down. They're ready for something different. I know I am. Perhaps more than any of them. Fortunately, nothing ever stays the same. It's entropy, the nature of the universe. Change is inevitable. And while entropy says order gives way to chaos, in this case, change is good. Our new first officer is en route to the Resolute. Shara Rydek. I know she'll bring a welcome dose of new blood to the crew.
What species she is? Is that going to be us? We're going to be the captain? That didn't sound good. It said right trigger. I don't have a right trigger. Let me,
Thanks.
No problem.
In an opportune moment, I'm going to grab an Xbox controller.
I'm not great with flying.
You work in space.
But these little shuttles are the worst.
You don't like flying. And yet, you joined Starfleet.
So I guess we're going to replace the first officer.
You should try it sometime.
The crew is impacted by the things you say. So I think we just made him feel bad, but that's honestly what I would have said, so.
Sorry,
I have to say
I'm a little anxious.
I hadn't noticed.
I'm on my way to my first assignment. When we get to the starbase, I'm transferring on to the Resolute.
We're going there.
So am I.
What kind of class is the Resolute going to be?
Step in at the 11th hour like this. But if she's half
Is
the
that it?
officer I knew she could become when she was a cadet at Starfleet Academy, she'll be the XO this ship needs right now.
I'm seeing some classic ships here. Star Trek Resurgence. That's Nova bottom left, Miranda over there. Excelsior right there. Kind of starbasey looking starbase right there. It's a 2023 game. I haven't feel about the graphics. Change of station. Getting kind of TMP vibes a little bit here. Just not from like the era, but just like the cinematicness of it. What species are we? Definitely late 24th century, judging from the uniform. He was to me. Okay, it feels like we probably are going to be okay.
A starbase on the very edge of Federation space. Long way from home now.
Not Starbase. What's the one from Lodex that is? Starbase 80, is it? The one from Lodex where it's terrible. Okay. Every now and then.
Commander? I'm not usually such a nervous wreck, by the way. I actually did well at the Academy.
Oh yeah?
Maybe you've heard of the Torvalin test?
Sounds familiar.
It's a tactical simulator that makes the Kobayashi Maru look like a picnic on Pintaris 5. Anyway, I finished in the top 20. Not just in my class. I mean, all time. In the history of the Academy.
That is impressive.
Really?
I'm also quite a supportive person.
Thank you. It was tough. But you know, I set my mind to it and it paid off.
I don't know like this guy or not. He kind of screwed up in his shuttling and he knows that.
Please place your hand here.
Yes,
There for a
Anton.
few seconds.
Why would I have to click above the scanner?
Welcome, Commander Ryan.
We are
You're Jara Rydek? You absolutely crushed the
half
Torvalin
human,
test.
half Kobalid.
You finished in what, like the top 3?
That would be me.
Now
Oh,
I'm
we did better in this test than
It's
he did.
an honor to
That's
meet you,
funny.
Commander. Sorry, I didn't realize before. I just came off the shuttle and was glad to be on solid ground, so to speak.
The pleasure's mine, Ensign.
Paul Calloway.
Good to meet you.
I believe Commander Ermot is expecting you. He's in the concourse just ahead.
Commander
See you on
Ermet.
the Resolute.
Is the motion blur? There's apparently not a pause menu. Oh, we can run.
Good day, Commander.
There is definitely some interestingness happening here.
If I remember my briefing, Commander Ermot is a Bolian, so I'm looking for someone with blue skin.
I'm assuming that's him over there then. I knew Bolians had blue screen. I didn't need the prompt. Ooh, let's see what else we can interact with. You guys know me.
Starbase
I like interacting
128
with
has 4
everything we can.
docks.
Thank you for that information. Can we steal someone's lunch?
I'll replicate myself a meal once I'm on board.
Ooh, what species are you? We're half human and half something else. I wonder if that'll be important later.
Welcome to the edge of the galaxy, Commander Rydek. I'm
That's
Commander
us.
Jan Ermot, Operations Officer on the Resolute. Commander?
I feel like Commander's quite a high
I hope there
position
wasn't
for
too
an
much
operations
trouble
officer.
getting here.
Because the uniform feel a bit off.
Storm isn't making anything
Let's
easy.
hope in the movies it was grey.
I know conditions are less than ideal at the moment.
It was a bit bumpy.
It's a bit bumpy, but otherwise okay.
My apologies. The storm is unlike anything I've seen before. We're grateful you were able to come fill our first officer vacancy at such short notice. From everything I've read and everything I've heard, we're lucky you were available to us.
So we're apparently a very good
Coming
officer.
from a premier starship and all. To our little research vessel.
What
exactly
what
have
has
you
been
heard about
heard?
me?
First in your class at the Academy. Received the Starfleet Award of Valor during the Dominion War. Most recently,
Oh, in the
Tactical
Dominion
Officer
War?
and Chief of Security on the USS Endeavor.
You've done your homework.
Like I said, we're very lucky.
Oh, is this our ship? This is a class I didn't recognize. Maybe it's specifically for the game.
The USS Resurgence. She may not look like much compared to the bigger ships, but as far as science vessels go, she can more than hold her own. And she doesn't look so bad considering 6 months ago she was nearly cracked in half venting plasma fighting for her life.
It was an accident?
Equipment malfunction. An accident suggests fault, but
That seems suspicious to me.
it
Seems
was a
very
planned
suspicious.
test, but the warp core was pushed beyond its limits. It destabilized the dilithium, there was a runaway reaction, and the warp bubble deformed. We thought we could reach a higher resonant frequency, but it was more than she could handle.
Ah, very
Cost
interesting
us our
indeed.
first officer and 22 of our crew.
Ooh, that's not good. That's not what
At
you
the end of
want.
the day, we're all responsible for each other.
I think that's it. I'm sorry for your
That's
loss,
what it
moment.
means to be a crew.
I can't even begin to imagine what that must have been like for you.
I remember the Dominion War. We probably
I'm
lost plenty
so
of people
sorry
with
for
you.
your loss.
Thank you. It does weigh heavy. There are some things you can't forget.
I think as first officer, we are kind of responsible for the crew, so we want to know how the crew is now.
It's been 6 months. What's the attitude among the crew now?
Unsettled. But I hope that a new mission will help them move forward. If not, move on. Listen. I realize you've known Captain Solano for quite some time. And I'm sure you're ready to
Solana.
bring your
That kind of sounds
best.
Vulcano. It's definitely a
But I
male.
should warn you that when the captain
Seeking.
announced you would be the new first officer, there were those who felt it was a mistake, that he should have promoted from within. So you might want to tread lightly at first,
Thanks for the
until
heads
they
up.
come to value your contributions as much as he does.
Thank you. Always good to have a sense for what you're walking into.
I just thought you ought to know.
I appreciate it.
I like him so far.
Starfleet has assigned us a high-priority mission to the Hotari region.
Ew. Okay, so presumably we'll get to play as different people. So Jara is like the first officer that we are currently playing, and Carter is presumably someone else that we will come to. Commander Jara made a good first impression with Commander Ermot coming off as inquisitive and appreciative while showing empathy for what the crew of the Resolute suffered. Okay, so enter I guess is our pause menu, so we can go back to the main menu from there. Anything Callaway? It was great for Jara to keep on yourself. Okay, I feel like we made pretty good. I'm gonna stick with keyboard for now. So you'll get phases at some point. Okay. I feel like control wise this is gonna be a fairly simple game. What? I must have hit the wrong button then. I thought I had to press back. Did I press back to menu? Oh, did I just go all the way back to the start? Sorry to skip the cutscenes. Oh. I don't want to listen to that again. It was kind of boring. Oh, sorry guys. Like, let's resume. What is? Okay. I think there's gonna need to be some patches to this game before too long. I did press resume. I did press it in the right place. So I guess we don't pause. Oh dear. I'm gonna try and pick the same choices that I already made. I don't want it. Okay, so I guess I have to like hold and hold and wait to get highlights.
Stardate 579.4.
Oh. Definitely getting a TMP sense of the
After spending too many months piecing our ship back together, we're finally about to venture out on a new mission.
Okay, I'm just going to scale the system volume back and talk through a little bit.
Unprecedented ion storm slow them down.
Yeah, so basically we are a really good officer, and we were a tactical officer aboard. I think it was the Endeavour, they said. So we don't know what ship the Endeavour was. Or what class it was. When we were a tactical officer, we fought in the Dominion War. It sounds like we did really well in the academy, and have backed that up with quite a distinguished career. So that is us. Meanwhile, the ship, it sounds like they are some kind of research engineering vessel, and one of the engineering things that they had to do recently was some kind of warp core test, and it went wrong and almost blew the ship in half. 22, I think it said, of the crew died, and including the EXO, which is why we're coming on. We know the captain from the academy somehow. This place is very shaky and etc. Yeah. Okay. It's detectors, we're on a keyword now.
Thanks.
No problem.
Let's go back in.
I'm not great with flying,
I noticed.
but these little shuttles are the worst.
I'm going to
You don't
I'm
like
just going to try
flying.
and press the set options.
You joined
So I
Star
guess this is going to be one of those games where you have to do like
There's
a
a
mission
reason I'm
and
not
there'll
a
be like a
pilot.
save point.
You should try it sometime.
I wish there was a way to skip through the
Sorry,
cutscenes, but I
I'm
guess
a little anxious.
I get the impression that
I
this is
hadn't
going to be
noticed.
like more of a
I'm
story-focused
on my way to
game,
my first assignment.
and so I guess
When we get to the
you
starbase,
don't want to
I'm
skip the
transferring
cutscenes
on
in a
to the
story-based
Resolute.
game. Although it
So
looks
am
like we
I.
get to shoot phases at some point, so I'm excited to see how this plays out.
It won't be easy.
The story's been very
Yara
good from like the
stepped in
reviews
at
I've seen of the
11th
story
hour,
so far. So I'm excited.
She's half the
That's
officer I
a
knew. She
Miranda
didn't tell
of
much.
Reliant class.
Dead at
Don't know what the one in the
Starfleet
top right is. Then there
She'll be
was
the
an
end
Excelsior.
soldier needs right now.
Type 8 shuttlecraft, I believe, is what we're on, and then down there is a Nova class. Star Trek Resurgence. USS Sentinel. Yeah, I didn't recognise the class of Resolute from earlier, so I'm assuming it's some kind of... that Nova class is close. I'm assuming it's a class like specifically for the game, but we shall find out. Oh, I just want to see if I get a closer look to see what species we are. The uniform colour is definitely slightly off. Like, I feel like it should be more grey. Checking out security, use WAS to move. It's not letting me press shift now, but it was earlier.
A starbase on the very edge of Federation space. Long way from home now.
Definitely getting some... Oh, it looks like we get to fly at least a shuttle at some point. Maybe let's turn the brightness up a little, see if that helps with how things should look. There doesn't seem to be a way of doing whatever I was trying to do. Yeah, it's like I need to get like a motion blurry feel to it.
Commander? I'm not usually such a nervous wreck, by the way. I actually did well at the academy.
Oh yeah?
Maybe you've heard of the Torvalen test?
Sounds familiar.
It's a tactical simulator that makes the Kobayashi Maru look like a picnic on Pintaris 5. Anyway,
It's Pentaros 5
I finished
particularly
in the top
laid back.
20. Not just in my class. I mean, all time. In the history of the academy.
I don't want to build it up, so I'm going to
So-
stay very impressive.
There's that.
Really? That's quite impressive.
Thank you. It was tough.
Actually, I
But
said
you know,
very.
I set my mind to it, and it paid off.
Please
He's
place your
like the
hand
most
here.
generic ensign ever.
Hold it there for a few seconds.
I'm gonna leave it for this episode, but I think I'm gonna do a Xbox control next time.
Welcome,
Who
Commander
ballad?
Rydek.
Wait, you're Jara Rydek?
I don't
You
recognize.
absolutely crushed the
Right.
Torvalin test. You finished in what, like the top 3?
That would be me.
Now I'm really... It's an honor to meet you, Commander. Sorry, I didn't realize before. I just came off the shuttle and was glad to be on solid ground.
Pleasure is
The
mine.
pleasure's mine. Ensign,
Paul Calloway.
good to meet you.
I believe Commander Ermot is expecting you. He's in the concourse just ahead.
See you on the Resolute.
Okay. So they are a species from Star Trek. From what I can tell, they're not necessarily members of the Federation, and they seem to have a presence in the Alpha, Beta, and Delta quadrants. So there's
If
like
I
they're in
remember my
workforce in Voyager.
Commander Ermot is a Boolean, so I'm looking for someone with blue skin.
I'm gonna interact with all the things that I interacted with.
Starbase 128 has 4 docks.
If you're just joining us,
I'll
I
replicate
accidentally
myself in the
restarted
once I'm on board.
at the start.
Excuse me.
So I'm kind of wishing for this back. This is really where we were. We kind of talked to him a little bit. But welcome. This is Star Trek
Welcome to the edge
Resurgence.
of the galaxy, Commander Rydek. I'm Commander Jan Ermot, Operations Officer.
Commander
on the
Ermot.
Resolute. Commander?
Commander seems like a really high rank for
hope there
Operations
wasn't too much
Manager. In
trouble
Voyager, Ensign Kim is an ensign.
This storm
Um,
isn't making
bit
anything
bumpy, as
easy
we said
for us
before.
right now.
It was a bit bumpy, but otherwise okay.
My apologies. This storm is unlike anything
So I
I've
wonder
seen.
how a human and a Coblet had a relationship.
We're grateful you were able to come fill our first officer vacancy at such short notice. From everything I've read and everything I've heard, we're lucky you were available to us. Coming from a premier starship and all. To our little research vessel.
What have you heard?
What exactly have you heard about me?
First in your class at the Academy. Received the Starfleet Award of Valor during the Dominion War. Most recently, Tactical Officer and Chief of Security on the
So we were a
USS
tactical
Endeavour.
officer before becoming
You've
the
done your
XO.
homework?
Like I said, we're very lucky.
And this is the Resolute. It's a good name for a ship. The Resolute. I hope we get a bit of a view of it at some point in the game too.
The USS
But, I reckon
Resurgence.
it's a nice looking ship, you know?
She may not look like much compared to the bigger ships, but as far as science vessels go, she can more than hold her own. And she doesn't look so bad considering 6 months ago she was nearly cracked in half, venting plasma, fighting for her life.
It was an accident?
Equipment malfunction. An accident suggests
This-
fault, but no one's to blame.
That
It was
makes
a
me
planned
think
test, but the
suspicious.
warp
I feel like there's
core
more
was
going on
pushed
there than
It destabilized the dilithium, there was a runaway
What we're
reaction,
currently being
and the warp
told.
bubble deformed. We thought we could reach a higher resonant frequency, but it was more than she could handle. Cost us our first officer and 22 of our crew. At the end of the day, we're all responsible for each other.
I'm gonna
I
stay.
can't even begin to imagine what that must have
Compassionate.
been like for you. I'm so sorry for your loss.
That is a bad loss for a starship in peacetime. 22 crew.
It does weigh heavy. There are some things you can't forget.
We're gonna see
It's
how the
been
crew
6
is, so we know
months.
how we're coming in.
What's the attitude among the crew now?
This is where we were.
Unsettled. But I hope that a new mission will help them move forward. If not, move on.
Okay, just changed the killer profile
Listen.
on my monitor and.
I realize you've known Captain
So it's
Solana
quite
for
dark,
quite
it's looking a
some
little bit better
time.
now.
And I'm sure you're ready to bring your best. But I should warn you that when the captain announced you would be the new first officer, there were those who felt it was a mistake, that he should have promoted from within. So you might want to tread lightly at first. Until they come to value your contributions
Ooh,
as much
should we go
as
for
he
I
does.
can earn extras or thanks for the heads up? I think we go for thanks for the heads
Thank
up.
you. Always good to have a sense for what you're walking into.
I just thought you ought to know.
I appreciate it.
Starfleet has assigned us a high-priority mission to the Hotari region. I'll let the captain brief you on board. I know he's eager to see you.
Will we be mission ready in time?
We have every intention. The crew has been working around the clock to get the ship ready. There's still so much to do.
There's the ship right there. Okay, that looks like a safe one. We were like so close. Ooh, use this mustachio, gentlemen. Looks like we're fixing a shuttle. Is this the other crew member we had to play as? Was it Carter?
Just the thing.
Yes, it looks like it is. A plasma torch. Dash.
Hyperspanner does almost everything, except what I need right now.
Okay, it tells me. Yeah, I think this is definitely a Xbox controller first game. One second. Okay, I wonder if we are Carter now. I will be back in a second. I'm just going to grab my Xbox controller and I'll be right back. I am back. I do not remember where I put my headphones. Connected to the audio. There we go. Okay. Now I got this. What do the controls say? Aiming, interacting. Cool. Yeah, that looks messy. Pop a new one in.
Is that?
The lower decks. Okay, so presumably we're going to play... I think that's going to be Carter. And presumably plays the first officer, Anna Sims. That's quite cool.
I thought that thing was totally fried.
Who's that?
Nice work, Carter.
Yes, I was right.
Nothing to it, Neely.
So he plays a
And
low
not a
decks
moment
officer
too
and
soon.
there's the exec. That's
The
interesting.
boss wants us down in
We're
engineering.
literally just
like,
crewmen.
now.
Yeah, oh what? Ooh. These are moves, not interacts.
So clean I can see myself. And you know what? Not half bad.
Come on.
Okay, we probably shouldn't have done that. We are professional after all. Okay, the camera is very frustrating. Okay. They've got this whole third person thing going on, but it doesn't really work. Do we go left or right? We can no longer run. Thanks, Nelster. And I'm no longer in control.
Engineer.
This game needed a bit
I heard the new
fixing.
echo just arrived. Won't be long before we get underway. I just hope whatever Chovok called us down for, it's something good. I can never tell with him. I'd rather not end up degaussing plasma manifolds. Hanging upside down makes me queasy.
Orders are orders.
Orders are orders, Neely. You know what they say? There are no small missions. Every expedition has a purpose.
Even if we don't know what it is yet, Looks like we got here before.
Lieutenant Commander Chovak.
We were just looking for
Ooh,
you,
Vulcan,
Commander.
Chief Engineer.
Petty Officers Ed Solar, Diaz. I was beginning to think you would be late. We are all hands on deck right now, which means if you are not at your post at the appointed time, I do not have someone to replace you. A point I have been forced to make to Petty Officer Edsolar on repeated occasions.
Almost late is not late.
Well, Commander Chovak, isn't it true that if we were almost late, it categorically means that we were not late?
That is correct, Mr. Diaz.
It's
I mean, if
logical.
anything, Ed Solar and I are following the schedule to the letter.
Yes, perhaps I should adjust the schedule accordingly.
So, I don't suppose you wanted us down here to check in before we go off duty?
Equip yourselves in EV suits to work on the exterior of the hull.
Ooh,
I need you to tune the
we're gonna go
structural
outside.
integrity field for optimal performance. The subspace distortions and ionic interference we are experiencing are preventing the proper calibration. But this ship must be ready to depart shortly, despite the storm. The precise nature of these disturbances are not fully understood. But many systems have been affected by the wide band of emissive activity.
Whatever it throws at us, we'll be ready.
Okay, we'll be ready.
We've got the best chief engineer in the fleet.
I am a Vulcan, Mr. Diaz.
Flattery, you guys know.
Flattery is not necessary. All that I
Aw, that's
require
close.
is that you do your job. Right now, that entails critical preparations, because long-range sensors show that these disturbances will be more severe at our destination, the Hotari system. You have your orders.
I wonder
Do not delay.
Yes,
Roger
Commander
that.
Chovak.
So I'm assuming we are.
All hands on deck.
What's that?
All hands on deck. That's what Chovak said. You know what that means? It means this ship isn't ready to go out and the brass know it. So they're throwing every warm body at it. And they're going to leave on schedule. Consequences be damned.
You worry too much.
You gotta have some faith, Nilly. Starfleet Command wouldn't send us out if we weren't ready.
Oh, they
6
absolutely
months
would.
ago, I probably would have said the same thing. But this isn't just any old refit or any old relaunch.
Oh, whoa. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's the ensign that we met is XO.
A lot of new faces coming on board. It's gotta be tough coming as a replacement. That's for sure.
Give them a chance.
They seem all right. Something that happened 6 months ago while they were off on another ship? Well, that's nothing to hold against them.
Yeah, you're right. I guess getting a little new blood on board doesn't hurt. Hold on. Now there's an old face I didn't expect to see again. Hey, Miranda!
You weren't gonna leave without me, were you?
Miranda, you're here?
Who's
We thought you
Miranda?
were staying on the Adirondack.
Transfer came in at the last minute, so I figured I'd slum it on this bucket of bolts. Looks like you got her back together pretty nicely. I wasn't sure what to expect.
Welcome
I'm gonna
aboard.
take the high road here, pretend you didn't say that, and welcome you aboard.
He's
I
a
like
better
this guy.
diplomat than I am.
He still owes me a bottle of Saurian brandy. Don't think I forgot.
Oh yeah, it's coming back to me now.
Maybe Carter can rustle up that bottle and we can give you a proper welcome. As soon as we wrap up this quick little spacewalk.
Here, let me help you.
Thanks.
So what's the word? Are you back in the security rotation?
Yep. Still running with the usual suspects.
Whoa.
We are in EV suits now.
Good to go.
I'm getting romantic.
See you on the other side.
I feel like there's kind of some failed romance between those two.
Activating magnetic souls.
Oh my days, we go slow. Oh, there's some relic like we thought earlier. I don't know that I want to be outside you in an ion storm.
That view never gets old.
Let's go.
Not gonna lie. How does this game, which isn't quite fully feel finished yet, match up? Like, get green lighted when something like stage 9 gets binned? I think the story meant to be good on this, so I'm looking forward to experiencing some of that, but the gameplay so far, like, I feel like it's been very minimal. Like, I kind of walked a couple of places and pressed a couple of buttons. Yeah, making choice, that's always fun too.
Here momentarily.
But like the camera control is kind of jarring, and like I never know if like I'm in a cutscene or if I'm actually playing the game. Like most of it seems to be cutscenes.
You'll have to forgive me, I don't know much about Kobleods. But my understanding is you need a steady supply of duridium to keep your cell structure stabilized, or bad things start to happen. And we have plenty of duridium in sickbay, so there's no risk of running out.
Thank you.
Feel free to make yourself at home. And help yourself to whatever you like from the replicator.
I'm hoping that we got to get a bit more to do with time. I feel like the captain's about to walk in. Why are we... USS Resolute, NCC 92317. Yeah, like, I get I have like this motion blurry feel. It's annoying you can't turn it off. And then it's kind of like, I wish like the camera would stay in the same place around the person. Like when we're walking around the corridor, it's really annoying. And oh, we can use the replicator.
Just a sip of something.
Irish, or we're gonna get tea.
Tea.
Whoa, not hot. That's why we have to bring on
That's
so we can
lovely.
check our beryllium or whatever it was levels. Wow.
Jara Rydek.
Ah, it's the captain.
Last time I saw you, it was graduation from the academy. You'd already secured one of the most prestigious assignments possible. And you were burning with enough ambition to fuel 7 trips around the Necrid Expanse.
It's good to see you again, Captain.
I could not be happier to have you on the Resolute. My only regret is that we couldn't provide you with a warmer welcome. The arrival of a first officer to her new ship deserves a bit of fanfare.
I don't know.
But, unfortunately, we've had our hands full with the
I'm
refit.
definitely not feeling had hope for more. Let's just get to work.
You can spare me the pomp and circumstance. There's plenty of work to be done without all that.
You always had a work ethic like nothing I'd ever seen. That's just what this
I think
ship
that's
needs
like
at the moment.
right choice.
As I'm sure you've heard, we've had a rough go of it these last 6 months. The ship suffered some damage, but not nearly as much as the crew.
You mean the accident?
I assume you mean the accident.
That's right. The tragic accident, really.
There's definitely
We
something
were
they're
on
not
the
telling
verge
us
of a
about this
major
accident.
Scientific breakthrough. A quantum leap forward in warp core technology. 10,000 teradynes per second. The ability to travel at a sustained rate of speed longer and faster than we ever dreamed. What would have been the crowning achievement of my career. Right there, within our grasp. Until it all went so horribly wrong. We pushed her too hard, and a warp core malfunction overloaded the system, creating a pressure gradient way beyond what the ship can handle. It was heartbreaking. We lost some of our best people. As captain, I have to take full responsibility. It was my decision to make. And I have to live with the consequences.
I like he really was to blame, but maybe the crew knew the risks.
We all know the risks when we sign up. There are no guarantees. As much as we tell ourselves otherwise.
True. But as captain, my job is to mitigate and manage the risks as much as possible. And that's where I failed. In my defense, I will say, I might have avoided the whole ordeal if my senior staff had been willing to trust me. There was a lot of pushback from my former XO, and I think that cost me his confidence. I don't want you to pull any punches. Certainly not on my account. But once we decide on a course of action, I need everyone to fully commit to the mission. Anything short of that just won't work.
I think
And that's when things start to go sideways.
Rely on me. I think he bumped off his old XO, you know?
Whether I agree or disagree, I can promise that I'll be honest to a fault.
Good. That's exactly what I'm looking for. But at the end of the day, it has to be my call. Look, I'll be blunt. We can't afford another mistake. Or at least, I can't. I feel like my career is hanging in the balance here. We need a win. Something to restore the crew's confidence.
I understand.
On a more positive note, Starfleet has tasked us with what they're calling a mission of the highest priority. Escorting a senior diplomat to Hotari space. Two previously peaceful and otherwise non-aggressive civilizations now find themselves on the brink of all-out war.
So it's a peacekeeping mission.
I see it as a golden opportunity to not only prove what the Resolute and her crew are truly capable of, but also a mission for which we're uniquely qualified. This ionic
Why is
storm.
that?
Our long-range sensors suggest it's several orders of magnitude stronger than anything on record. A total anomaly like nothing we've seen before. And you'll never guess where it leads.
Hotari.
Exactly. Very nearly in the precise location where we're headed. Where I imagine the interference will be exponentially greater.
I want to know
But
about
the
the mission.
diplomat will brief us on the details of the rendezvous.
Who is this?
Who is the
diplomat?
senior diplomat we're escorting?
That I don't know. Starfleet hasn't said. But I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Do you think it's going to be someone that we
We'll
know?
have some rough sledding when we arrive.
Who is this
I need
diplomat
you
going
to
to be?
prepare the
I
crew.
feel like it's not going to be
for
Picard.
There's just one
I
more
think it's
thing
too
I want
early
to
for the
clarify.
Titan to show up.
The metric that for me will be the ultimate measure of your success.
What
No.
is it?
If after serving as my first officer, you don't one day find yourself with a ship of your own, then I will consider it my personal failure. When that might happen is entirely up to you.
I would
But it
be
goes
honored.
without saying, you have my full support.
It's been a dream of mine since before I can remember. So I would be honored to become a captain someday.
As long as you're willing to do the work, you have my promise. I'll do everything in my power to see that it happens.
Thank you.
Come, let me introduce you to the crew.
So it looks like I forgot to mute Messenger. And it also looks like we are on the captain's good side. I'm very suspicious about this so-called accident. Oh, the gameplay is not amazing. I mean, it only looked like a couple of days ago. Ooh, I'm getting TMP era vibes from this bridge.
Everyone, if I could have your attention for a moment. I'd like to introduce Commander Jara Rydek, our new first officer. Some quick introductions. This is Lieutenant Handar, our helmsman, one of the
Hey,
best in the
Lieutenant.
business.
One of.
What he lacks in humility, he more than makes up for in ability.
A pleasure to meet you, Commander.
Likewise.
Next, we have Commander Westbrook, our chief science officer.
He looks like
Come to
Chakotay.
rely on his expert counsel on a regular basis.
How many commanders are on the ship?
Commander Rydek, it is such an honor to meet you.
This is our tactical officer, Lieutenant Bedrosian.
We were
Looking
former
forward to
tactical
meeting you
officer.
for about as long as I can remember.
I've been following your career for quite some time. and I look forward to learning as much as I can from you.
I can stick with being humble.
If anything, the honor is mine.
Well, I have to admit, one of the reasons I've followed your career is because you're part Kobliad. Because of what you've overcome. Starfleet stands up for people who can't defend themselves. And you were one of those people once. But since then, you've done so much to protect others who need it. I really admire that. So, you've been something of an inspiration to me. Not that I've done anything close to what you've done, but you definitely set a standard to strive for.
I'm gonna go enough about me. I don't know if it's the right answer.
That's very kind of you to say, but enough about me. We have a lot of work to do.
Oh, yes, of course.
Oh, I like that was the wrong
And
call.
then, of course, you've already met
I've never
Commander
disappointed
Irma.
her. I didn't mean
Please do everything you can to make Commander Rydek feel at home here. I'll be on the starbase. Have an urgent meeting with the starbase commander to get our authorization to get underway. If they drag their feet any longer, we won't make our rendezvous. The bridge is yours.
The bridge is ours. Sit in the captain's chair with me. I gotta get wander in the bridge first, see if there's anyone we can interact with. Still a little bad about the tactical officer.
Operations, staffing, supplies. There's a lot to keep track of on a starship.
This is a really pretty
We have
bridge.
Commander Irma.
Like, look at all the wood paneling on like all the consoles. This is quite a pretty bridge. Definitely like getting TMP area vibes from like the L cards. What? Why do we keep like floating? This game definitely needs a little bit more polish.
The helm. The Resolute is a refitted Centaur class, meaning it's capable of
Centaur
quick maneuvers. Can't wait to see what she can do.
It's an old ship. So you see the Centaur in DS9 when they steal the or when they have the Jem'Hadar ship. Oh dear. Do you not get to look at this console? I feel like based on like a Galaxy class layout, this is normally the ops console. Maybe it's had more of the original series navigation. It's not tactical either because that's the lady that we disappointed earlier. And apparently we are going to get to talk to the lady and ask her about it. Let's talk to
Science station.
the third commander we've
Resolute
met.
is a science vessel, primarily.
The chief engineer is Lieutenant
Might
Commander.
explain Commander Westbrook's attitude. I'll have to speak with him later.
Now, what do we have over here? Person working. Like, yeah, I don't know, I'm a little bit disappointed about that because this is like an official Paramount game or like sort of game. Like the gameplay, like, just doesn't feel like it's quite there.
So many decks, full of crew that are now my responsibility.
That's true. And yes, EXO, like you are in a large part responsible for the ship.
Communications keeps us in contact internally and with other vessels.
Never. Okay, that was one that I didn't feel like we needed. This is a really weird tactical station. Let's talk to our new friend.
Tactical station. Hopefully,
This seems
diplomatic
too
mission won't
high.
require we
That
use
does
our
not look
weapons much.
comfortable
But
to
if it comes to that,
operate.
we'll be ready.
Okay, I wanna take command. The time has come. So presumably that's going to be our normal command chair, but the one with the arms is the captain's chair.
Commander, Chief Engineer Chovak needs to lower the structural integrity field. He's sent a crew out to recalibrate the emitters in response to the danger posed by the storm.
Are we going to jump back?
We just need your
to the
go-ahead.
dude? Sure.
Mission granted.
We need
Lowering
Overdue
structural
to
integrity
be able to do
field
his job.
now.
Entering maintenance mode.
So basically, warp is off the is off the table for a little while. So I feel like we're about to jump to Storm's Edge.
The storm is getting worse.
I feel like we're in trouble.
Looks like they turned off the SIF.
Great. Let's get to that emitter.
I don't have any camera control here. I didn't even have like other movement control than like holding the stick down.
Every time we're out here,
This is
I
really
expect to
unnatural.
see her in pieces again.
She's still got some scars on her. It adds character.
When I joined Starfleet, all I wanted was a ride out of town. But this isn't exactly how I pictured it.
On the outside of the ship?
No. Sometimes it feels like we're just part of the machinery. Don't you want more than that? I mean, Starfleet is noble and all, but it's still a machine. A massive, massive machine.
I am more than that.
I am more than that. And so are you. You wanted to get away. I enlisted.
How much further away can you get?
I didn't want to wait years just to get out and see the galaxy. I wanted to go somewhere. See new worlds. Look up at a sky no one's ever seen before. Just because I'm cranking a hyperspanner up in a Jeffries tube today doesn't mean that's all I'll ever be.
That's really inspirational talk.
Diaz to Commander Chovak. We are at the Sif emitter.
Acknowledged. You may proceed with the recalibration.
Okay. What do we need to do the job? I guess we need a calibration tool.
Beginning recalibration.
Careful. Too much action and harmonics will deflect the alignment.
This
Light
is
touch, Carter.
This is like going in the complete opposite direction to what I'm asking it to. This is really hard to control. No, don't go down. Go where I'm telling you to go. I'm just going to jump back to a mouse for a second. Nope, it's really bad on the mouse too. Okay, back to the controller we go. I cannot get this to not... Like, I don't understand. Wherever I move the thing... Oh my days, this is not a good control scheme. Hang on, so this is like jumping between these points. No, what? Okay, so the circles are on the outside of the bits that we actually that are actually moving the thing. We're actually like. But like where they're controlling it to go. Okay. But why is it going up? I don't want it to go up. Why does this make... Nope. 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 Yes? That was...
That wasn't so hard.
It didn't make any sense. Like, the thing, like, if it like, moved in the direction I was holding it, or opposite the direction I was holding it, that would have been great, but it didn't do that.
Commander
It
Westwood,
seemed
right?
to be random.
Chief Science Officer.
You remembered my name and my rank. Impressive.
He's a bit of a dick.
Yes, I am the Chief Science Officer, and I have the dubious honor of being the most senior officer on this bridge. I know this ship inside and out. Better than just about anyone.
You think highly of yourself.
You seem to think very highly of yourself.
With good reason. I'm curious, though. A Kobliad, or half in your case, is an odd choice for first officer, given your vulnerable condition and all. But if, as an example, we found ourselves in a hostile situation, and you were suddenly incapacitated because you needed an infusion, what would happen then?
That's like racism.
You'd leave Captain Solano without an XO.
I don't like this
Granted,
guy.
that would be a worst-case scenario.
It's never been a problem. I've been attacked
Not
lots of
outside
a
the realm of
starship.
possibility.
In my entire career, it's never been an issue, or caused the slightest problem. And I don't expect this to be any different.
I was just curious, that's all.
Yeah. I'm curious about being an asshole.
Listen, can I be blunt, Commander?
I see no reason to stop now.
Commander Sutherland, your predecessor, was one of the best first officers in all of Starfleet. His record was impeccable and his reputation was without equal.
I don't think
mean
the
no
people on this ship are as
disrespect,
good as they think they are.
The shoes you're stepping into are almost impossible to fill. He was loved by the crew. And he was one of my closest friends. So I can only hope that you'll live up to expectations.
I don't think I could ever replace Commander Sutherland. And it would be a mistake to even try.
So we want to be our own XO. I think that's going to get...
Seeing as Captain Solano
Oh,
is on the
neutral.
starbase, let me give you an update on this ion storm we're flying into. It's unusual, unlike anything I've ever seen.
Interesting enough
At the
to
moment,
give
I
us a
can't tell
score,
you
I
if the
guess.
Resolute will shrug it off or if we're putting ourselves at risk. However, if we learn more about its
What's
patterns,
that?
its nature, we can come up with a scientific countermeasure.
Hmm.
Just a moment.
Where's that? Where's that? What's happening? Oh,
We've
I
got a
would not want
massive
to be
energy
on...
wave inbound.
On screen.
We're going to have to decide whether to kill the crew or not.
Tracing its trajectory.
Starbase docking clamps are holding.
The storm's emissions are fluctuating, coming in waves.
We need to get
If
those
my projections are
dudes back
right,
inside now.
we're about to get hit by a wideband burst of ionic energy, like a tsunami.
I'm reading power abnormalities all over the ship.
Red alert.
Aye.
Or is that given to us as a choice? Like, we'd like give you fine, or we didn't have that because that is like red alert.
Evacuating
We
the
have
gangway and
ownership of it.
retracting.
Can we get the dudes on the
Sensor
hill inside?
visualization on screen.
With the structural integrity field shut down, we can't take a direct hit.
Time to impact. 1 minute.
Shield
get-
systems are severely impacted. We have limited protection.
I need every available solution. What are our options?
We can weaken the impact of the storm with a deflector pulse.
There's a better way.
I'm sending all auxiliary power to the deflector dish.
Send the aux power to the shields. We can't reactivate the entire shield bubble, but it's a directional threat. So we can orient all we have towards the wave. You have to believe me.
We only get one shot at this. We can't afford to get it wrong.
That's
I'm going
right,
to trust the
which is
experienced
why we
officer
need to send
on this
power
one,
to
even
our
if he is
shields.
Commander Westbrook,
a-hole.
use the deflector dish.
Already working on it. Optimal timing displayed.
I think that's going to be
It's
the
going
wrong
to be tight.
decision now.
Good. Send the pulse on my command. Now.
We got it. This is it.
All hands, brace for impact.
What about the guys on the hull?
What happened?
We have experienced a surge of radiation.
Oh, you don't say.
This radiation supercharged the plasma, forcing it to backflush through the system and creating a dangerous imbalance.
That can blow out every primary system on the ship.
Just tell us where you need us.
I need you to traverse the hull to the access port to recalibrate the port nacelle plasma regulator.
To the plasma thingy. Man, this is gonna get intense. Oh, we already walked
We've
that.
reached the first access point.
Understood.
Why
Use
is she
the
here? We're
override
gonna
for
do all the
level 1
things. Surely she
fail-safe
should be
circuits.
like doing the next one. Sure.
Affirmative.
Engage the override. It should allow us to stop the EPS flow to the warp engine without triggering an automatic core shutdown.
I don't know, this one first.
Failsafe override engaged.
Are you sure?
Okay, the gameplay's
I am
getting
registering
better.
some crosstalk in the bypass circuit.
We need to route the signals so they don't interfere with each other.
And then presumably that one goes over here.
Diaz to Resolute. The failsafes are temporarily disabled. Moving on to the EPS regulator.
Okay.
Heads up, Carter.
What is that?
One of the discharges coalesced.
It's coming right toward us. I'm gonna try to disrupt it with my phaser.
Press Y to quick phaser. Left trigger to aim. Okay, that's cool.
So we gotta climb up the pylon. Not that there's really an up, but, you know.
These things are
We're
intense.
almost to the regulator. Are you alright?
Yeah,
Nope.
suit took most of it. Just snuck up on it.
That damaged your suit. Energy dampening is down to 60%.
So I should have done better at evading that one by
We're at the regulator.
time.
Opening the access panel.
I am now halting the EPS flow to the port nacelle. We have little time before it causes an overload in the engine. You must work efficiently.
EPS manifold adjusters reset to neutral. The EPS lines to the port warp engine are back in balance.
Woo! Go
It's
us.
done. Once I cycle the manifold nozzles, Chovak can...
Whoa. The control arms are failing. Ah! See something that's not coming towards us. I would definitely not want to be on the hull.
Get down! Diaz to bridge. We just lost the docking clamp. We've got a lot of debris coming down. All vibrations, too. We can't finish the EPS regulation in these conditions. Please advise.
We have to release this ship from that other docking clamp or the hull will be ripped apart.
There's a problem. The clamps are supposed to disengage automatically in an emergency, but it's not working.
Not working.
What are our options?
The docking clamps are fitted with exploding bolts for an emergency release.
We've got crew out there. That'd be like setting off a bomb next to them.
Maybe there's another way.
Starbase is hailing us.
Put him through.
Resolute, the remaining mooring arm is failing. You need to disengage from the starbase now. The damage to the station will be catastrophic.
We have crew outside and are looking for the
We have
safest way to...
people on this station. If that mooring arm breaks, we could lose dozens of crew.
Commander, hear me out. Reverse the polarity of the hull, which theoretically will repel the docking clamps.
And repel the engineering crew right off the hull into the storm.
This is Captain Solano. Put me on screen.
Go ahead. Captain, we have a situation.
Commander, what are you doing? Blow the bolts on the docking clamp.
The captain doesn't know the whole story.
I'm giving you an order. Jara?
Captain, you brought me here because you trusted me. Can you trust me now?
You better be sure you make the right decision.
He's not having a plan B
The
yet,
captain
though.
made himself quite clear.
They're gonna get hammered with debris out there. Reverse the polarity.
There is protocol.
And there are lives.
What is the holdup?
Starbase, stand by. We're gonna flip hull polarity to disengage the clamps.
Yes, Commander.
Repair crew, this is Acting Captain Jara Rydek. Be advised, we are going to reverse hull polarity to free us from the remaining docking clamp. Tether yourself and deactivate your boots on my mark.
Understood.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Crap.
2,
Crap!
1. Mark!
That was close.
Grab my hand! I got you.
The story is
Thank you.
good. Man, we've been in the first
Plasma
hour.
imbalance is reaching critical condition. We are moments from primary system failure.
It's an
got it.
interesting first hour is EXO. Come on, man. Why did she wait so long to do that? Oh shit, right.
Look out!
I got you. Petty Officer Etzelar's hurt and unconscious. I'm gonna have to tow her back to the airlock.
Mr. Diaz, the situation has changed. You are at risk of triggering a substantial electromagnetic arc if you approach the main hull the way you came.
But Commander, the way we came is the nearest airlock.
There is an auxiliary hatch near you on the far end of the pylon. You must bring Miss Etzelar there to access the interior.
Roger that. Go in there now.
Whoa. Man, this game's gonna get intense. I'm having a great time. Hope you guys are having a good time too. But I'm having a really good time. Come on, we can tow her. Oh, I knew that. Okay.
I'm at the auxiliary hatch.
Oh, she's fine. Oh, that does not look good.
You go first.
What?
No, you go
Let
first.
me save your neck this time.
Do we get to choose? I want to
No
have to go
time to
first.
fight me on this.
No, she's injured.
Get
She
in
doesn't
there.
go first.
Not on your life.
Let's not let it come down to that.
Okay, I take it back, now we're hit. Is they alive? Good. Are we fired?
We made it.
Okay, so we made the right choice and we're now alive.
They're safe. Bringing the Sith fully online.
Do it.
Those of you just joining us, the Sith is the structural integrity field, which we took down so we could make some changes on the outside. And we disobeyed the captain's orders to save the crew on the outside. But if we hadn't, then the walk would have breached as well, so yeah. The price of duty. This is a friend we met earlier.
Nilly.
I'm good. Help me with him.
How badly hurt are we?
Let's get this off.
Ooh, that looks painful.
Medical. Got one wounded at my
Why is
location.
medical not already there?
Carter. You don't look so good. You gotta be more careful. I just got here. I'm not ready to see you two get blown to space dust just yet. Now let's get you down to sickbay.
Great.
I bet she would have been hurt if we hadn't gone first. If we hadn't gone second. I'm glad that we made that call. I just felt so bad. This is
The
gonna
repair
be
crew made it
mad.
inside. EPS flow is back to nominal levels. The SIF is back up.
How does this affect mission readiness, Mr. Ermot?
Releasing the docking clamps using hull polarity minimized damage to the Resolute. We'll have some last-minute repairs to make, but if we reapportion
See,
some
we
of
were
the
right.
staff, we can make our departure on time. As of now, however, we are successfully moored to the station.
Good to hear. Send updates to my ready room. Commander Rydek, with me.
We're in trouble! Even though it all works out. I've heard about that, you know.
You disobeyed my orders. Well?
It was the right decision.
Respectfully, Captain, I made the right choice given the
You
information I had.
disobeyed my orders! And not just in front of the bridge crew, but the Starbase staff as well. That's going to get around. My name's already tarnished around the fleet. But what is it going to do to my credibility on this ship? From the top to the bottom. Bridge to lower decks.
Captain, I told you I'd be honest, so here it is. Maybe I shouldn't have disobeyed a direct order, but you were wrong. You weren't on board, and you didn't have all the information. So I made the right decision for the ship. If you're worried about your credibility, put your ego aside and trust your crew. Trust me.
Burning words.
You might have won some fans on the bridge with that stunt, but not everyone. Lieutenant Commander Chovak has already bent my ear.
I'm sure he doesn't take it personally. He'll get over it in time.
Mr. Chovak is more complicated than he would want to admit. I guess we all are. And, if I'm being honest, I'm not sure what I would have done in the moment either. You never really know if you weren't in those shoes. So, let's just boil it down to, you did what you had to.
Thank you for
That'll have to be
understanding.
good enough for me.
Thank you for understanding, sir. I'm sure no one knows the burden of command as well as you do.
I'm sure you will, someday. Despite it all, we got our final Starfleet clearance to depart. So if you'll fetch Mr. Ermot, we'll knock out the final details of any outstanding repairs, then we'll set out for Hotari.
Yes, sir.
That was a somewhat interesting start to our career as XO Starfleet. Ship, we disobeyed a direct order, but we did manage to save crew. I feel like if we'd blown them, then one of them or both. I feel like not Carter, because I feel like Carter is like the other main playable character, but I feel like the lady would have been killed.
All departments reporting full mission readiness. We've got our full complement on board.
This is my favorite moment, right now.
The start of a new mission is always full of possibility.
The Orion Syndicate could sell it as a drug.
Don't let the Admiralty hear you say that.
Captain on the bridge.
Sit. Sit, everyone. You all know, I'm not big on speeches. We're embarking on the first mission since our refit. Let's make it a good one. Disengage docking clamps.
Docking clamps released.
Thrusters ahead, Mr. Handar.
Ja, från det sen går inte det inte ens en turretglass.
That should do it. Set a course for the Hotari system. Prepare to go to Warp 8.
Aye, Captain.
You know what?
Are we gonna get to the go order?
Me?
Let's click with the classics.
Engage.
Mainly because to make the way and do it, but kind of crap.
Simple, but effective.
They've only been Let's Fly though. I'll give them that. Let's Fly is not a good launch command.
Whoa. Careful.
Thank you. I'm fine. Really,
level though.
You don't look fine.
Well, we don't look fine. How bad's our level of Druidium?
I have to get to sickbay.
Go.
Commander, help me get her inside!
Well, that was quite a scare. A few minutes more and it would have been one of the shortest tenures on record for a first officer.
Is that the engineer that was out on the hull?
That storm did a real number on him, but he'll live. Just needs rest. You should worry about yourself. Your Duridium levels got dangerously low and destabilized your cell structure.
This is definitely one of the more memorable first days I can think of.
My name is Dr. Aram Duval, Chief Medical Officer. To be honest, I've never met a Kobliad before. You're...
rare. I know.
I was going to say special. Your people's numbers have dwindled, despite the Federation's efforts to find a more readily available alternative to the Duridium you need to survive. Yet you joined Starfleet, and managed to thrive. I imagine the responsibility must be overwhelming. Maybe even a burden at times.
Difficult.
I don't like the attention it brings. Being treated differently than everyone else.
But you are different. That's not something you can change.
True. But sometimes it makes it even more difficult than it always
So I did
is.
some quick reading.
And don't worry, I
won't
won't treat you like a science experiment.
And I think there's like an episode of Enterprise called episode of
You don't
DS9
agree
that focuses
with
on the
his methods?
species.
I don't agree with his definition of acceptable risks. Not when the lives of your crew are at stake. My professional opinion is that the accident took a toll. More than he's willing to admit. He's overstressed. operating in the pressure cooker of his own mind. Which is never a good headspace when the lives of your crew are at stake.
No, it's not.
What concerns me is that now he's even further away from the thing he's been chasing his entire career. Breakthrough discovery. The major innovation. Something he can put his name on. But the more the time passes and the further out of reach it gets, the more risk he'll be willing to take. People become blinded by their own ambition.
I hear you. But that's my job, isn't it? To make sure that doesn't happen. And we don't lose sight of the bigger picture.
Which is exactly why I'm so glad you're here. We need you now more than ever. And I have to give you credit for what happened on the bridge. It took guts to defy a direct order.
I feel like we're gonna have some interesting storylines with this, Captain.
I guess word travels fast around here.
It's a small ship. And everyone's curious about the new XO. Fortunately, your cell structure is almost completely stabilized. And I'll spare us both the lecture, but I do feel it's my responsibility to remind you, without regular infusions of Duridium, you will not live. It's as simple as that.
Understood.
Then, my work here is done.
Thank you, Doctor. It's really interesting. The game is like investigating a species that we've only seen. I think it's like 5 episodes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to be lurking outside of sickbay. I didn't want to intrude, so it felt more appropriate to wait out here. We were all worried about you. Or I should say I was. I wasn't sure what was happening at first. But then I realized it was your condition.
You didn't come to gloat?
You sure you didn't come here to gloat? Remind me that you saw this coming the moment I stepped on board.
Make no mistake, I like being right, and I won't be quiet about it when I am. But it didn't happen at the worst time. You made it through that. So I guess I was wrong. And a bit of a jerk.
Okay, he's going on me.
You trusted my intuition earlier, with the deflector pulse. I felt I should thank you for that.
Well, thank you for coming. Even though you didn't have to.
I wanted to.
He's going on me. I think we're gonna end up being quite good
Now, Carter,
friends.
the emissions that gave you that burn are quite unusual, like everything else that goes with this storm. That's a combination of hyronolin and lectrazine to counter the radiation effects. That should help speed your healing. She's come by a couple of times to see you already. Be brief.
Our potential of interest?
It's good to see you awake again. I was starting to get worried. Not that you aren't in good hands with Dr. Duvall.
I'll go
It
with
did
that
take
easily.
one hell of a shot, though.
Ah, come on. You know you can't get rid of me that easy.
Don't push me, Diaz. You do not want to see me try.
No, nope. I am not getting on your bad side.
I am a formidable enemy. Millie was looking in on you too, by the way. But since it's just us right now, I had a chance to think about this while I was away. And I thought it was important that I just come out and tell you. Instead of tiptoeing around it.
Is something
Or
wrong?
worse.
It's clear that she loves us. I
Are
can
you
say this the
angry
whole
at me or
time.
something?
Oh, no, not that. I'm sorry.
Right, the opposite.
I'm probably making too big of a deal here. What I'm trying to say is, we've been really good friends for a long time. But I got back here and I couldn't ignore it anymore. I want to see if there's more between us than just being friends.
I don't know how to play this. I don't know how to play this. I'm running out of time.
Carter?
Are you sure?
Are you sure about this?
They're my feelings. Of course I'm sure.
Well, I just mean seeing me in here after we almost got killed out on the hull.
I felt this way before that, Carter. I like you. And I think there could be something more for us. So, what do you say?
Yeah, I called it from the
I like
start.
you too,
Let's
man.
give it a shot.
And I'd like to see where this goes.
I just feel like it may go back to an interesting situation to deal with
That's-
later.
I was really hoping you'd say that.
Sorry to interrupt, but the patient needs to rest if he wants to get back to his old self.
Of course. I'll see you again soon.
approaching the rendezvous point outside Atari space.
Helm, bring us out of warp.
Dropping to impulse.
Ionic
Like
interference
we
surging.
came up really close to the asteroids there.
Shield integrity holding.
We can take it.
We are at the correct coordinates to meet the shuttle.
Commander Rydek, find us our diplomat, if you will.
Aye, Captain. Let's reduce the noise. Filter out environmental signals. I can manually tune what's left for Federation signal types.
Let's play them. There it is.
I've located the shuttle.
Opening comms.
On screen.
Oh, it
Shuttle
looks...
to Resolute. Shuttle to Resolute. Debris field. Lost maneuvering. Losing.
I can't get it any clearer. It won't get a transporter lock. It's just not happening.
Power up the tractor beam. We'll pull them directly into the docking bay.
Diaz, you good to run the tractor emitter?
Yes, sir.
You sure?
We're back on duty.
I'm sure.
He's my favourite character so far.
Come on, Diaz.
Chester Diaz.
First thing, lock onto the
Basically
shuttle
save
and
the ship more
stabilize
than
the
anyone else as
rotation.
well. Oh, it's only Excelsior.
We're pulling in debris.
I'm on it.
Yeah, it's close. That looked like it was close to comfort. Surely the ops officer on the bridge should be doing this. Can we not
That's
fly
gonna
that one
take
too?
the shuttle. There's the bridge. There's a large piece of debris headed for the shuttle. The tractor beam can't handle it.
Can our shields take it?
I believe so.
Why would we
Commander
not
Ryder,
shoot it?
Plot an intercept course.
On it. Here we go. Maneuvering thrusters bearing
Why isn't
53
that helm
North
shot?
17, 200 meters on an intercept course.
Maneuvering.
Got it.
Whoa! Someone's working hard on the bridge.
It's ever me. I did it, I did it, I did it, I did it, did it, did it. There we go. Who's the diplomat gonna be? I really feel like it's one that we're gonna know.
We got the shuttlecraft on board.
Good job. We're on our way down to meet them.
I don't know who it's gonna be. Who's it gonna be?
Terra firma, so to speak.
It's Spock.
Ambassador Spock.
Is he not in Nero's timeline? Why are we walking towards him? How did they get there in Nero's voice?
The captain will be right down to meet you, sir.
In that case, I will wait for him here.
It's kind of rude to not already be there to meet with the most famous ambassador in Federation history. That's not an awkward moment at all.
Well, let me be the first to say, welcome to the Resolute, Ambassador.
Thank you, Petty Officer...
Carter? Carter Diaz. Sir.
I am pleased to meet you, Petty Officer Carter Diaz. It appears I have you to thank for my safe arrival. Your assistance arrived not a moment too soon.
My pleasure, sir.
Say so.
You're very welcome, sir. I'm glad we could get you here in one piece.
Indeed. We thought we were prepared for our arrival in Hotari space, but it is evident my craft was not sufficiently robust for such intense ionic activity.
The storm has been
I have
pretty
so
intense.
many questions.
There
What is this
was
game
an
set?
element that was most unusual. Before you came to our aid, our maneuvering thrusters and impulse engines were rendered inoperable. So we attempted a short traversal at warp speed, only to find that we could not achieve warp at all, even though our diagnostics computer showed no faults or anomalies. What do you make of that? When all indications say that warp speed is possible, but in practice, we find it is not.
Probably the storm.
Well, this storm is one of the strangest phenomena we've ever encountered. It's disrupted other systems. Who knows what it might do to a warp drive?
Yes, it would seem further investigation is called for.
Take
Nice,
readings,
just check your
run some
random
additional
crewman.
diagnostic checks.
What's
We'll get to the
Captain?
bottom of this.
Quite logical, Petty Officer Diaz. Thank you.
Ambassador Spock,
Excuse me.
I'm honored to have you aboard. I'd like to get right to it. We're already behind.
That's the classic, like, introducing everyone to, like, his stuff. I don't like the captain. I like getting good vibes about him. The gameplay is growing on me. That's good graphics, actually. I feel like a bit more polish was needed, but I feel like the story is good. I'm enjoying the story a lot.
Ambassador Spock, my senior staff. It's not every day that a captain gets to welcome a Starfleet legend aboard.
You flatter me, Captain Solano. But legend implies the past tense, whereas I am very much focused on our present circumstances.
I didn't mean to suggest
Spock is one of my favorite
stuck in
characters.
past.
This is really cool.
You're right, Ambassador. Not the most diplomatic choice of words.
Means your experience, I guess.
Your experience comes from the past. But our present situation calls for it.
True enough.
We were hoping you could fill us in on the details. We got the basics from Starfleet. Two formerly peaceful neighbors are now on the brink of war.
Indeed, and the tension between them grows fiercer by the hour. Lydia and Hotari. The Lydians are the more advanced species. They made first contact with the Hotari over a century ago. This is Tau, the Hotari moon. It is rich in dilithium, and for decades, the Hotari and the Lydians have shared a mining operation there. The Lydians provide the technological resources, while the Hotari have served as the labor force. The stability of that arrangement was the source of their peace, until recently. The Hotari have suddenly and forcefully seized control of the mining operations and expelled the Lydians from their system. That is the official story, as told by the Hotari when
What's
they
the
requested
unofficial
Federation
story?
mediation. But the details remain scant. Communications between all parties have been limited by the ionic interference.
I think have the Lydians retaliated.
Have the Elydians retaliated against the Hotari? Or taken any action against them?
Surprisingly, they have not yet responded in kind. They were open to a Federation presence, but it is unlikely the relatively primitive Hotari forces would stand a chance against the Elydian fleet in open war. Left unchecked, this conflict will result in more bloodshed, which is what we are here to prevent.
And the dilithium trade hangs in the balance.
Clearly, the Hotari have been exploited in this relationship.
Maybe we can persuade them peace is the more profitable alternative for everyone. They both profited from the mines. And for the Hotari, something is better than nothing. Peace is our objective, after all.
That is correct.
We can call it profitable or mutually beneficial, but at the end of the day, the Hotari are still being exploited for their own resources.
True peace is not merely the absence of war. And as such, this conflict will surely come again.
Neither the Illidians or the Hotari are members of the Federation, so we can't make them do anything.
There is an additional complicating factor I should mention.
Oh?
In the past, the Federation has relied on the Illidians as a source of dilithium.
Yeah.
That certainly changes things.
Federation sources its dilithium from a lot of places.
Yeah, and this is one of them.
We trust about the
That
Hotari.
means the Hotari have no reason to trust us.
I wouldn't go that far, Commander.
We are completely neutral in this matter, on neither one side nor the other. Any suggestion otherwise would compromise our position. Given the Federation's involvement in the Illidium dilithium trade, Captain Solano and I must make every effort to appear neutral in these negotiations.
What worries me is if this whole thing unravels, and we're at the mercy of the storm at less than full strength.
We can't let it come to that.
Considering what the Ion Storm has done to our ship, and the Ambassador's shuttle, we have to assume the Illidian fleet has had problems with it as well.
Yeah, I guess we do.
This recent surge in the energy disturbance temporarily levels the playing field.
Commander Westbrook is correct. The energy anomalies around the Hotari systems have been noted in the past. But they have never been observed on the orders of magnitude we have seen in recent weeks.
That may answer why the Hotari were able to strike back after so long. They finally had an opportunity, and they took it.
That would also explain the Illidians' restraint.
And reason to learn as much about the energy anomaly as we can while we are here. We do not want to be caught at a disadvantage of our own. So I trust we understand our circumstances.
We're operating on a strict timetable here, and we're going to be leaving for the negotiations shortly. Commander Westbrook, I want you to leverage our systems to investigate the anomaly from here while we're gone.
Aye, Captain.
Thank you all.
Dismissed.
I want to speak to both of you privately.
Oh? No audience with Spock.
Ambassador Spock, I'd like to make a formal introduction. My first officer, Commander Jara Rydek.
Commander, as you are aware, there are limits to what Captain Solano and I can do in our official capacity as representatives of the Federation. But someone in an unofficial capacity, your first officer, for example, would not be bound by those restrictions. Commander Rydek could ingratiate herself to certain parties behind the scenes, where they may be more candid in revealing information that could lead to a resolution.
She certainly goes her own way. Maybe that helps in this case.
I'm not diplomat.
With all due respect, Ambassador, I'm not a trained diplomat.
That's exactly what we're going to leverage.
I began my time in Starfleet as a science officer, not as an ambassador. We must be adaptable in the line of duty.
Well, I hope Commander Rydek will have more luck finding out what really happened than we will through official diplomatic channels.
We seem to be ingratiating
The fate
ourselves
of
to Spock so far.
negotiations, the interests of the Federation, and the prospect for peace.
This is like a classic Star Trek storyline now. Looking at the save icon. Okay, I think I'm gonna read through these and then I'm gonna end for the night there. So, Captain Solano. Captain Solano's fury of having his orders fired was compounded by Jara's continuous rebellious attitude and stubborn opposition to his leadership, leaving him questioning his choice to first officer. Oh, I did not realize we were in a better situation with him as we are. Yeah. I thought, though, he didn't have the whole situation. Like, if we'd blown the docking clamp then we would have killed. Yeah, we would have killed. I reckon, like the team on the outside, and that would have led to the destruction of the Resolute, because the team on the outside was the ones that had to reroute the plasma array or the EPS conduit. So, yeah, I think that we were in the right, and he needs to take his mustache and put his smile on it and do it. Lieutenant Bedrosian. Lieutenant Bedrosian admires Jar's instincts to protect the crew when Starbase ordered her to engage Docking Clubs, and she thought highly of Jar's efforts to explain the complexity of the situation to Captain Solano. And she was relieved when Jar defied Captain Solano's orders and made her own command decision in the moment, and she's not upset we didn't go with her solution. Ambassador Spock. Ambassador Spock noticed Jar's keen intellect and unique insight into the dynamics of the Utari-Eladian conflict during the mission briefing. Ambassador Spock also noted Jar's caution when presented with her back-channel mission. Commander Westbrook was ashamed of his behaviour and felt Jar's sarcasm was more than warranted based on outside sickbay. Commander Ermotz was glad Jar's testing to protect the crew when Starbase ordered her to disengage the docking clamps, and he appreciated Jar's efforts to explain the complexity of the situation to Captain Solano. Commander Ermotz respected Jar's rational approach when she defied Captain Solano's orders and refused to put the crew on the hull at risk. Dr. Duval was impressed by Jar's sense of responsibility to the crew and was encouraged to see everything independently when she defied Captain Solano's orders. Lieutenant Commander Shovak did not approve of Jar's unwillingness to follow protocol when she defied Captain Solano's orders. I would compare him better than you, I don't think. And that one we already know. So if we met everyone here that we're going to meet, maybe not, it's scrolling along. This one with a gap still, but I think it can be filled more. Ed Solar was grateful when Carter put her safety ahead of his own out on the hull. Miranda was shorter and Carter's feelings for her tend towards the romantic, and she looks forward to seeing where this relationship might go. Me too. Lieutenant Commander Shovak found Carter to be cheeky and cavalier when he and Ed Solar were almost late in main engineering. Ambassador Spock was impressed by Carter's skilled use of the tractor beam to rescue his shuttle, and he was glad to see Carter takes evident pride in his work. There we go. So that is how we are doing. Cool. But I think that is all that I'm going to play through of this today. We're about 2 hours in or so. But I hope you guys have been enjoying it. I've had a great time. The gameplay's a little janky. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like especially walking around corridors, when the camera seemed to get stuck on things and all that kind of stuff, it seemed a little bit janky. So hopefully they improve that. But then the solving the puzzles and stuff throughout the game, that's working quite well. It's definitely better with the controller than the mouse and keyboard, I think, if you're looking to play it yourself. But yeah, it's been good fun. The story's been really good, and I feel like they're setting a really good Star Trek-esque story. I'm gonna have a check on Google before the next time I stream this and see when it's set if there's any information on that, because we know in the 2380s at some point that Spock goes is sent to the Kelvin timeline on the jellyfish with the use of red matter, so it must be before then. So I'm guessing it's probably about the time of Lower Decks. And it's quite nice to see that we're getting to kind of control a Lower Decks crew member as well. But yeah, I feel like the crew are quite interesting so far. Yeah. I don't know how I feel so much about Carter's kind of crewmates. But I feel like the bridge crew is quite interesting. I like the science officer quite a lot. Yeah, so that's how it's going. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode, or this, I guess, stream of Star Trek Resurgence. Definitely going to be playing through it a bit more over the next few weeks, so stay tuned, and I look forward to seeing you next time.